In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. All praise and thanks are due to Allah, and peace and blessings be upon His Messenger. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Many Muslims, especially women, due to lack of knowledge, believe that wearing hijab, head covering, is an option in Islam. However, the opposite is true. It is an obligation for Muslim women to cover their entire body in loose, non-transparent clothing from head to toe except her hands and face in public in the presence of a marriageable man and during their 5 daily prayer. Not doing so will be a sin and her prayer will be invalid. Let's try to fully understand this command of Allah from the Quran and how this verse was understood by the Muslims at that time and how they practiced it. This is very clear. It's mentioned in the Quran where it says, "Tell the believing women to draw their headscarf over their chest." Quran chapter 24 verse 31. The verse makes it clear that women are not only required to wear a headscarf, which primarily serves the purpose of covering the head, but to wear it in a specific way. One might ask why Allah used this manner of speaking. Why didn't He just mention that women must cover their hair in plain and clear wording so that there would be no confusion among people today? In order to answer such a question, the historical context in which the Quran was revealed must be understood. Women in many parts of the world used to cover their hair. In Arabia, they used a headscarf which would cover their hair, and then they would drape the ends of their scarf behind their shoulders. The verse clarified to women that this is not sufficient for modesty because the neck and upper chest areas are exposed, so they must be draped their headscarf upon over their chest areas to make sure that that part is covered as well. Since women were already covering their head, there was no need to tell them to cover it again. The final point worth mentioning is that no recognized Muslim scholar for at least 1,000 years after the revelation of the Quran has ever made an argument to the contrary about women being required to cover their hair in public. Furthermore, no Arabic linguistic has ever argued that the khimar is anything but a head cover. This is significant because it would mean that people who do make such an argument, namely that a headscarf is not a requirement, have discovered something which eluded Muslims for centuries. It has not been a matter of legitimate scholarly debate in the past, and it is highly unlikely that something so significant in public would have ever been completely misunderstood for such a long time. It is more probable that people who do make such an argument are intentionally or otherwise using intellectual gymnastics to reinterpret the Quran to mean something that it does not. In conclusion, I request my brothers to explain and encourage the women of their household to wear hijab, and to my sisters who are not wearing hijab to fully understand Allah's command and think of whom they are disobeying and start wearing it, and to those who are not wearing it in the correct way should wear it the way it is ordered by Allah. Any reason that comes to your mind for not following Allah's command is from Shaitan, our open enemy. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.